The cemetery was drowning in cold fog, a sea of mist that swallowed the moonlight and muffled every sound. Late at night, this was no place for the living. Yet, Yusuf, just 22, found himself walking slowly between the tombstones. He was drawn here, night after night, by the same chilling whisper that echoed only in his mind. It called his name, a faint, desperate plea. Yusuf, come down. Help me. He knew it was impossible. No one should be out here. But the voice felt so close, so real. It almost seemed to carry breath. His eyes scanned the rows of silent monuments until they locked onto something that made his blood run cold. A grave. It was wide open, a dark gash in the earth. Fresh soil was still shifting at its edges, as if something had just clawed its way out, or was desperately trying to crawl back in. Above the gaping hole, an old, weathered tombstone stood crookedly. A name was carved into it. Faded by time and rain, it was a name the locals never spoke aloud. A name tied to dark legends and whispered fears. Yusuf felt an invisible force pulling him forward, a magnetic tug toward the open grave. His heart hammered against his ribs, each beat a frantic drum in the dead silence. His breath came in shaky, shallow gasps. He peered into the darkness. Instead of a coffin, he saw a narrow dirt staircase, spiraling down into the earth. It went deep, far deeper than any grave should ever go. The whisper returned, stronger this time, right beside his ear. Come down. I'm waiting. It was hypnotic, persuasive. Before he could even think, his body was moving. He climbed into the grave, his feet finding the first step of the earthen staircase. He began to descend. The air grew colder, the darkness thicker with every step down. The whisper had stopped, replaced by an unnerving silence. When his feet finally touched the solid ground at the bottom, a deafening thud echoed from above. The grave had slammed shut. Absolute darkness consumed him. There was no air, no light, no escape. There was only the sound. It started faintly, a wet, dragging noise. Something was crawling toward him in the pitch black. It was slow, deliberate, and its breathing was a heavy, labored rasp. Panic seized him. Yusuf spun around, scrambling back towards where the stairs should have been, his hands slapping against a solid wall of rough, damp dirt. The staircase was gone. The grave had transformed, trapping him in a suffocating earthen prison. Then, he felt it. Something impossibly cold touched the back of his neck. Fingers, long, thin, and definitely not human, began to tighten their grip. A dry, ancient whisper slid directly into his ear, a voice filled with an eternity of suffering and malice. Finally, someone to take my place. Yusuf opened his mouth to scream, but the sound never escaped. The all-consuming darkness swallowed it whole. The next morning, the sun rose over a perfectly peaceful cemetery. The old grave was sealed, its stone slab undisturbed, looking as if it hadn't been touched in a century. But the locals know. They say if you walk past that spot at night, you can still hear it. A faint, frantic scratching from deep beneath the ground. And sometimes, if you listen very, very closely, you can hear a new voice whispering from the dirt. Let me out. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next descent into the dark. See you next time.